Hey guys, how's it going? In this video, I want to show you guys how to make a short film. I promised this for a while already, and here goes. The first thing I would advise you is to define your goals. So, for example, like if you're a student, then you probably would be making a short film for your university or for your high school or for your graduate program, right? So then, set the goals towards that, like what guidelines that entails, and maybe your school program has the resources to help you out with that. I think this video is more for the people who are independent. And I'm posting this video because, people know that I'm an actress and that I'm a filmmaker. So people come up to me and they're like, how could I shoot a music video? How much money do I need? Like, what's the difference between a music video and a short? Like, how do I get started? Do I need to save $5,000? I don't have money. Like, people kind of like, they have like a spiral when they're talking to me about this sort of thing. And I've heard like so many things. I've heard people that have spent like so much money on making shorts and whatnot. But my advice is just for somebody who's like, who knows for a fact that making a music video or a short film or something on video is going to help them and is ready to take that step. So I'm going to be here to hold your hands throughout the process, and you guys can feel free to email me, feel free to comment below if you guys need a little bit more explanation. And here it goes. And I don't know if you guys can hear, some guy in the background is playing the bagpipes. He's not wearing a skirt, but he is playing the bagpipes, so please enjoy the background music. So first and foremost, it might come as a surprise to you, but you do not need any money to shoot a short film, like at all whatsoever. So that's what I was gonna say. Like, first define your goals. Like, if you're gonna make a short just for yourself, just because you want to tell a little story and you want to use that to get other people excited about a bigger project, you can do it yourself. If you want to make a short so it can go into a big respectable festival, and there's a lot of respectable festivals out there for short films. I didn't know that before I made my own short film. I thought shorts were just kind of like things that went nowhere, but I was wrong, because the short I made ended up going into an Oscar qualifying film festival. And although it didn't win, I acted like it won, and it opened a lot of opportunities for me. It got me an acting manager. It got me so many things. It was like an incredible milestone for me and for everybody that was involved in the making of the film, which was the cast and the crew. So like I said, yeah, a short that you're gonna make just to keep in your pocket or to show to your friends or something is gonna be very different from a short that you're gonna make for a film festival, and it's gonna be very different from a short that you make to show like people what you can do, that you're a filmmaker. So although you could shoot a short for $0, I would set aside like $500 to make a short. I think that's pretty reasonable, especially if you live in a big city. Another thing is, okay, so define your goals. Okay, perfect. That's not so hard to do. So take out a piece of paper and write down, okay, what do I want to do with this short? And let's just say you just want a short that you can take to a film festival. Okay, perfect. There's a lot of film festivals, and I'm going to lead with that example. So you want to take your short to a film festival. Okay, perfect. You don't even have to worry about what film festival you want it to go into, especially if it's your first short, because at this stage, you just want to get it done. You just want to show yourself and those around you that you're not a joke, that you're going to get this done. And whether you're the director, the producer, the actor, the writer, or all of the above, or one or two of these things, making this short, you've already decided that it's gonna move you forward. Okay, perfect. Good job. You're halfway done. Number 3, whether or not you have these $500, if at least you have $100 or set aside, I think you're still good, because now you have to find your cast and your crew, and you have to have your story. So decide what your story is. I would advise to keep it simple. Like, think about a friend that you have that either acts or is somebody that you really get along with and you guys really click together. Like, write a story about you two guys inside an apartment or in a park. Like, you can make a story about, like, kind of like the Hunger Games. Like, you could go to a park such as like this one. You could stand by a tree. You can get another actor and you guys can like kind of like make scenes like you're in an apocalyptic world or something, you know. Think about this. This might be the longest part of making the short, like making a story that you can tell within like 5 to 10 minutes or 5 to 15 minutes that is worth telling. So that's honestly the hardest part, is saying what you're gonna say. Everything else kind of like falls in together. So okay, I'm assuming you already have your story. Number 3 is the cast and the crew. First of all, congratulations, because we live in 2024. This is December 2024. And most people in the United States or anywhere across the world, like, they have access to a cell phone if you live in a first world country. Cell phones have cameras and they have pretty good video cameras. And if you have an iPhone or something like that, the latest Samsung, like, congratulations, you're already winning. You could literally just shoot your short on a Samsung. Like, don't make the mistake right now of stopping yourself, of putting the brakes on because you can't afford, you know, that guy's Facebook post where he rents himself out for $700 a day because that's his day rate as a cameraman. Like, don't worry about that. You just need an iPhone to start. Like, you really do. And I'm going to take it a step further. Like, if you do live in a big city and you already have friends that like are good camera people, whether they work in entertainment or they're just a hobbyist, or if there's like a local like film school around, like, I would advise you to go on Facebook and type in filmmakers of whatever city you're in. Go on Google, literally type in filmmakers of Los Angeles, if that's where you're at. Or go to your local film school. If you're like in Los Angeles, you can go to the AFI Facebook page and you can make a post there and you could say, hey, I'm looking for a cinematographer. You know, I can't pay you, I can give you a meal. But what I will give you in exchange is the opportunity to come to a film festival with me and to promote your work and the opportunity to work on this great story. So then you do that, and guess what, guys? People are hungry to work, especially in entertainment, especially in big cities. Like, it's paradoxical because you would think that people in big cities are like, you know, fancier, they covet their time more, but that's not true. People everywhere are hungry for a really good story. I think Leo DiCaprio said it himself when he said, like, you know, when there's a good script in town and, you know, it's being shopped around, if the story is good, if the story resonates with people, like, people are like piranhas. Like, they want to get at that script. They want to be a part of it, even if like the monetary compensation isn't there. And yes, you are going to be met with resistance. You are going to be met with people that say, oh, I like this idea. And then they say, you know what, but I charge. You don't need them. You really don't need them, because there are going to be people that are going to be at your level or a little higher or a little lower that are going to be eager and able to help you. And it's really beautiful to see things like that come together, because what happens when you're already at that point is a really beautiful synergy. So, okay, you have your cast and your crew, hopefully. You have your iPhone, you have your story, and you have your goal. What's next? You have to shoot. You really have to shoot, and you have to commit to it. And let me tell you, if you've never done it before, you're gonna feel that resistance. You're gonna feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? Oh my God, I'm wasting my time. Do it anyways. Schedule out like one day. For a short, shorts are beautiful because you just need one day to shoot it. For my short, I don't know why, I thought it was a great idea to send people out to Mexico City and we all flew to Mexico City, and we Airbnb'd like a museum type of house, and I got international actresses from Mexico City, and I shot, and we needed like a lot of special effects and stuff, and that was still shot within a day. If I was able to do that, you can shoot anything for under a day. So if I had to do it over again, I would have shot in Los Angeles, because that would have cut transportation costs down by a lot. And although in Los Angeles and in big cities people worry about permits, there really are ways to shoot around things. For example, my film was shot indoors, and I'm talking about my film Frida the Woman, which is listed on my YouTube here. But for my film, like, I had to shoot indoors, and I rented out like kind of like this Mexican villa, and this Mexican big house, but I didn't really have to do all that in Mexico. I could have saved the money that I spent on airfare, and I could have invested that towards an Airbnb that was local to the Los Angeles area. I also didn't actually have to cast actresses that were literally from Mexico. I could have cast actresses that are based in Los Angeles that have Mexican heritage or Guatemalan heritage or something like that. It didn't have to be so authentic. I just chose to do it that way because I was at that stage in my career where I needed to feel very confident in what I was doing, and those elements that I was able to secure, because I did have the resources at the time to secure that, helped me personally. But if I had to do it again, I would do it smarter, and I would be very resourceful. Like, they say that, lazy people are very successful a lot of the times because they don't see problems. They just see like, how am I going to make this work for me as easy as possible? So yes, it's okay to adopt a lazy mentality when you're filmmaking. Don't bog yourself down with Excel sheets, with fancy programs. Don't compare yourself with your cousin Joey, who has an MFA from the Tisch School of Poker. Like, don't worry about that. You are enough. Just go out there and do it. And then once you shoot it, make sure that you know an editor. If you can't find anyone, it's really easy to edit movies these days because there's a lot of YouTube tutorials. If you do have to pay a little bit of money to get someone to do it, it's okay, do it. But like I said, if you already got this far, chances are that you already know someone who can help you do it for a very low cost. And then comes the fun part. What do you do with it? First and foremost, congratulate yourself. This is a milestone. Secondly, don't post it on Instagram just now. You have to wait a year for the film festival submissions. So go on this website called filmfreeway.com. No, I'm not sponsored by them. Hopefully one day I will be. And start submitting to free festivals all across the world. It has a sign-up application. Don't be lazy. Do it. Do it to the best of your ability. And a mission statement. Do it. Why did you make this film? If you don't care enough to fill these sections out in a good way, no one's going to care about your film. Because let me tell you, nobody's going to care about your work more than you. But let me tell you something. When you care about your work, a beautiful thing happens. And that is the mirroring effect, in which people start seeing you as a leader and they start caring about your work too. So then do that. You think if Quentin Tarantino didn't give a damn about his films, people would care about his films? No, the answer is no. So you have to love something for it to love you back. So lovingly fill out these applications and submit, I would say, at first to all of the free festivals. Now I'm going to be transparent. I spent anywhere from $200 to $300 submitting for festivals. But at this point, if you're watching this, I'm assuming you're a sentient being who has a job and who has income. And maybe you are living on your parents' couch, but I'm assuming you have at least a part-time job as a delivery driver or something. So I'm assuming you do have that money coming in, and you should. And if you don't, you can get a job. Go get a job, please. Stop watching this video, go get a job. Okay, you got a job now? Perfect. So now, yeah, if you have to spend anywhere from $100 to $300 submitting to film festivals and you feel in your gut that it's worth it, do it. Because that's how I felt. Like, I have had a lot of friends who made festivals, and they're beautiful artists, beautiful people, but they stopped submitting their festivals because they either thought it wasn't good enough or they thought it wasn't worth it because they heard horror stories from the cousin of a cousin who submitted to a film festival and it didn't get anywhere. Disregard that. If you feel in your gut your film is saying something, and if you're at least a little bit proud of it, like, you can submit it to stuff. Submit it to Oscar qualifying film festivals. Submit it to festivals in Canada. Submit it to festivals in Europe. Submit it to the festivals that are going to start requesting that you submit your film. And that's going to happen once you sign up to Film Freeway, because work begets work. Once they see that your film is up there, they're personally going to keep asking you, like, hey, can you do an interview? Hey, can you submit your film? And yes, watch out. There's not a lot of scams on Film Freeway. You're not gonna get scammed on it. You really won't. I think it's a wonderful process of trusting yourself and trusting the work you did and believing in yourself, and that'll manifest into more productive things. So these are the rough guidelines of how to make a short film festival. And I hope you got something out of it. And let me tell you another thing that is actually really cool. Shorts in particular are the gift that keeps on giving, because shorts, you could do tricks with them. Like, for example, a feature film, like, for example, Kill Bill 1 and 2. Everybody knows when those feature films came out because they had a theatrical worldwide distribution. Everybody knows the years that they came out in. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I could easily go and Google it. The beauty about short films, and I heard this from a producer, is that you can market them at all times. Like, just as an example, Sex and Candy, which is a short that I have listed on my YouTube, it had never been released. It was shot, it had never been released because the director, Tracy Gardner, thought he didn't do a good job. He's the older gentleman that's with me in the film, and as you guys can see, he did a great job, but he didn't trust himself, so he literally uploaded it on Vimeo and he locked it, and he wasn't sharing it with anyone. He wasn't even sharing it with me. He even took my link away, and I couldn't even see that film for years and years. And because he thought that, like, because he was so hard on himself and he didn't believe in the film, like, I thought I did a terrible job, and I thought nobody should see it, and I thought it was the worst thing I ever did. And it wasn't. It was pretty good. And I saw it again, and I asked one of my trusted friends, like, should I post it? And she's like, yeah, this is great. And I posted it, and now it's at 60,000 views. And that's so cool. Like, imagine, like, what the power of believing in yourself. Like what good is something that's incredible if nobody is there to see it? Like, what good is a pie that's just so good, so delicious, if no one's eating it? You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you do, like, be proud of it and rep it. So yeah, and back to my train of thought, like, shorts, like, they can always be marketed. Like, for example, like, suppose you finish your short and then you get busy because you have school or you got a new job or something like that happens, as it happens. It's okay. You could literally, like, nobody's pressuring you. You don't have, like, big companies pressuring you to post and to show your revenue. You don't have investors going after your throat for their money. Like, you don't have any of that. It's done. What you can do after the film runs its festivals, like, and it wins some stuff, like, at worst, a film, after you've submitted properly to festivals and exhausted all possibilities of what you can afford, of what is free, and don't go crazy. Like I say, I do not recommend spending more than $300, especially as an individual person. If you have someone else who can help you, cool, but I'm assuming that you don't. Like, in this, I'm assuming you're just a lone wolf. So after the film has gotten into some stuff and won some awards, because it will, I mean, unless it's really bad, but I don't think you guys would do anything that's really bad. So assuming it is good and it's one stuff, then you can feel free to release it on the internet. And the internet is so great because there's so many platforms. There's Threads, there's YouTube Shorts, there's YouTube, there's Vimeo, there's TikTok, there's Instagram. Like, you can like make fully fledged marketing campaigns that people like 20 years ago had to like hire people and pay them thousands of dollars to do. You could do it by yourself. Like, you could literally print out like the poster of your short and go to like a local bar and tell the bar guy like, hey, can I show my short here on Thursdays? And maybe like they'll say yes. And you know, it could be like an ongoing process. Like, you could talk about your short the next time you're applying to a job at that production company or that marketing company. You can use that short to get into clubs. Like, you could do so many things with it. It's like the possibilities are endless. You can post on LinkedIn. Like, you can do so many things with it, and most importantly, you can believe in yourself, because that's the most important thing. Once you start believing in yourself, then others are going to start believing in you, and your world is going to start reflecting that. So yeah, well, I hope you guys liked this video. Talk to you later. Bye.